The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for the 16th day of November 2023 and Game 4 of our 2023 Traditional World Series. Is Rod Stewart in the house? Is tonight the night for the Atlanta Braves? Everything is going to be all right. Darius Vines, who pitched in relief in Game 1, gets a start in Game 4. And Dean Kremer is the one responsible for saving Baltimore's season. The Braves are just loaded from top to bottom in offense, and their pitching has been all right too. Baltimore, a plucky team. They keep coming back, but they haven't been able to get over the hump. They win today, they get to play at least Game 5 there. As with any team that is down 3 games to none, it's just one game at a time at this point. Win today, you get tomorrow. You win tomorrow, you bring the series back to Atlanta for Game 6. And if you win Game 6, all bets are off for Game 7. Atlanta, though, seems to be doing everything all right at the right time. They have a closer. Their starting pitching has been mediocre at best, but their bullpen's been strong, and they know how to score some runs. So it's the Braves and the Orioles. The Braves win, and they win this Traditional World Series. As Retro Sports Network presents the 2023 Traditional World Series tonight from rainy Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. It is the Baltimore Orioles and the Atlanta Braves. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And it will be Dean Kremer on the hill for Baltimore. Kremer went 13-5 in 32 starts, an earned run average of .412. He's 26 years old, throws the fastball at 90, and is a standard pitcher. .172 2/3 innings for Dean, 171 hits, 27 homers, 55 walks, and 157 strikeouts. Lineup for Atlanta. Ronald Acuna Jr. in right will lead off. He's had a monster season or series. Sean Murphy behind the plate, bats second. Matt Olson at first will go third. Marcell Ozuna in left cleans up. Ozzie Albies at second will bat fifth. Riley at third goes sixth. Orlando Arcia at short batting seventh. How you doing, Andrew? And Eddie Rosario, the DH, goes eighth, and Harris the second in center batting ninth. And Vines on the hill. He pitched in Game 1, can go 90 pitches on full rest today. Jamie, I think we could have back-to-back World Series sweeps. We do the 71 series next. Something about my mother being very pregnant for me watching that. How you doing, John? And so she wants me to do it, so we will. Austin Hayes a 7-7 in left. Aaron Hicks a 5-7 in center. Santander a 7-6 in right. Gunnar Henderson, the Rookie of the Year in the American League, is a 6 at third. Mateo a 7 at short. Frazier a 5 at second. Boutcastle a 7 at first. Royschman a 7 and a 5 behind the plate, and Kramer is a 5 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. John, who goes by Midlife Crisis 13 on Twitch, says he's pretty good shape for the ship I'm in. Acuna Jr., 5 for 15 in this World Series, 2 homers and 4 RBI. It is raining lightly, 63 degrees, winds blowing in from right to left at 6. As we start Game 4, and that is line to center. Hicks is there, 1 out. Baltimore needs 5 innings from somebody. They've not had great starting pitching. And if you're going to win a championship, you got to have it. Sean Murphy, 4 for 12, 2 homers and 4 RBI. Atlanta has had okay starting pitching. Their bullpen has been better. Atlanta hitting .313 to start this game, and Baltimore hitting .260. But the difference is with the ERA. The Orioles' ERA coming into this one is .523. The Braves pitchers have an ERA of .318. And that's why the Braves are within striking distance of a sweep. Pitch to Murph. Gets hit. So that's not what you wanted. Murph, of course, with no speed. Here's Matt Olson. He homered yesterday. 6 for 15 on the series, a homer and 2 RBI. He laces that one right to first. Mountcastle's there, and Murph gets back to the bag. So 2 out for Ozuna. Marcel at .462, 6 for 13 in this World Series, a triple and 2 RBI. Kramer deals. Ozuna into right. Santander goes back to the track, but should make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After half an inning, Atlanta nothing. Here comes Baltimore. And so Darius Vines, who started 2 games and pitched 5 times in the regular season, gets the call here in game number 4. He went 3 innings in that 16-inning win over Baltimore in game 1. 37 pitches, 4 hits, and a strikeout. He throws the fastball at 90. He's just 25. But he really is the best pitcher they have that's on full rest, so he gets the call. Aaron Hicks will lead off for Baltimore in center field. Urias, the DH, will bat second. Gunnar Henderson at third will bat third. Santander cleans up in right. Reuschmann behind the plate bats fifth. Mountcast at first goes sixth. Hayes in left bats seventh. Frazier at second batting eighth. And Mateo, who's 0 for the series, at short will bat ninth. Kramer, 14 pitches in his half of the first. Ozuna a 3 and a 3 in left as we set the Braves defense. Harris a 7 and a 7 in center. Acuna Jr. a 7 and an 8 in right. Excuse me. Riley is an 8 at third. Arcia a 7 at short. Ozzie Albies a 7 at second. Matt Olson a 9 at first. Murphy an 8 and a 6 behind the plate. And Vines, not a great fielder, a 4 with a .500 fielding percentage. Hicks 4 for 13 on the series, all of those singles, and he's walked 4 times. Vines starts game 4, strike 3, and 0-2 fastball got him. Brings up Urias, 5 for 13 with a double. Pitch from Vines, popped up. Murph doffs the mask to the screen. Not sure he's going to have enough room. No, he doesn't. Hits the screen, and it's a 1-2 count. Vines delivers, and that is laced into center field. Going to drop in front of Harris the second, and the Orioles have a hit. Here's Gunnar Henderson. He is 7 for 15. He has 2 homers and 3 RBI. He's hitting .467 in this series. Struck him out. Vines got him on a 1-2 fastball looking. So here's Santander. Anthony 5 for 14 or 4 for 15. Helps if you actually read the numbers in front of you, Ron. A home run and 2 RBI. There's a ground ball to Albies. Ozzie throws to first, and Santander is retired. Orioles get a hit, and that's it. No runs, a hit, and no errors. After 1, no score. So Albies, Riley, and Arcia to face Kramer here in the second. Ozzie 2 for 16 with an RBI. There's a ground ball to Frazier. Throws to first, 1 out. So here's Austin Riley. Austin 4 for 15. All those singles, and he's walked twice. Kramer's pitch. There's a fly ball left center field. Back goes Hicks. to the base of the track, 2 out. So Kramer, at the moment, is pitching better for Baltimore than anybody else has. Here's Arcia, Orlando 2 for 14, 2 singles and 2 RBI. Pitch from Kramer. Little ground ball over the mound. Frazier by the bag at second, over to Mountcastle, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Inning and a half in the books here in game number 4. It's Atlanta nothing, Baltimore nothing. So Royschman, Mountcastle, and Hayes to face Vines here in the second. Little chopper over the mound. Albies in front of the bag at second, over to first, 1 out. How you doing, Bernie? Traveling back to the new home of the A's from Palm Springs. Going from Dean Martin's backyard to Dean Martin's front yard. Here's Mountcastle. Ryan 3 for 13 with 2 RBI. Mountcastle hits a high ground ball to third. Riley over to Olsen for the out. You're all familiar with Rose Marie. She was on the Dick Van Dyke Show, and of course was a longtime square on the original Hollywood Squares. She would have celebrated her 100th birthday, and she has a pretty funny Facebook group, and her daughter, for a Rose Marie Centennial, is posting a fact today about Rose Marie's life. And I bring that up because Rose Marie was one of the first entertainers to work Vegas. Austin Hayes, by the way, 4 for 12, a home run and 5 RBI. Zalapsky Smurf says, weird fact, Blake Snell has more career Cy Youngs with 2 than career complete games with none. Popped up, left side, Riley in foul territory, makes the catch. That will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2, no score. So Eddie Rosario, Harris the second, and Acuna here in the third. Eddie 5 for 12 with 3 RBI. Struck him out. An 0-2 fastball got him chased. 1 out for Harris the second, who is 7 for 15. 467, 2 doubles, a homer, and 2 RBI. Yep, Peter Marshall's son played in Major League Baseball. Never got a ring, but Pete Lecoq was a pretty good player. And every once in a while you'd see Marshall in a Royals jacket. Pitch to Harris. Here's a fly ball, shallow right field. Santana coming in, makes the catch, 2 out. And Peter Marshall, by the way, is still with us. He's 97. And yet, Rose Marie is not likely to come up on a fortnight stream. Here's Acuna Jr., 0 for 1. Opening 9 for Kramer. Pretty good. 29 pitches, 2 2/3, and a strikeout. Here's a ground ball left side, base hit. And for the Braves, I believe that's their first hit. It is their first hit with 2 out. I guess that was awarded last night. John says a big eye roll for you when Snell won, but looking at the other pitchers, he probably did deserve it. He didn't get past the 5th in 9 of his 32 starts and led the league in walks with 99 in 180 innings. Ugh. Yeah, after playing this series, I mean, Baltimore, 101 win team, and this is quite easily the best pitching performance we've had out of them. Throw to first. Acuna's back. Pitch out. There he goes. Royschman throws to center field, and that will get. They got him. They got him. And so the Orioles get out of the inning. No runs, a hit, and the runner technically, I guess, left on after 2.5. No score. So Frazier 1 for 12, but that 1 hit was a big home run yesterday for Baltimore. Vine starts the third. Ground ball to Arcia. In front of the bag. Over to Olson. 1 out. Who won the NL MVP? Cy Young. Here's Mateo. Jorge is 0 for 13 with 3 strikeouts. Ground ball to third. Riley across the way. 2 out. Yesterday at your dentist office, the 2 office workers, Jimmy's, were talking so fast and confusing. I said to them, I felt like I was in the middle of who's on first. Both stopped and just stared blankly at me. I thought on an RSN broadcast they would understand. I don't think I'm watched a lot in dentist office. Cole 1, okay? So here's Hicks. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Vines getting the emergency start pretty much. 2 2/3 is opening 9, 34 pitches, a hit and 2 strikeouts. And Hicks draws the walk. Yeah, we understand Abbott and Costello. Here's Urias. He singled his first time up. Lone hit for the Orioles. Fly ball left field. Back goes Ozuna. Marcel will track it down, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3, no score. Although Abbott and Costello were kind of old when I was a kid. I wonder what in 5 years will replace Fortnite as a place that kids hang out to game. Sean Murphy was hit by a pitch his first time up. Struck him out. Kramer got him to swing and miss on an 0-2 fastball. And so if this channel is still around in 5 years and we're looking at PUBG or whatever to make that reference, what's Fortnite? Both of those workers were under 30, probably never heard of Abbott and Costello or watched our gang. It was always the Little Rascals when I was a kid. Or the Three Stooges, all before my time in the staple and reruns. I gotta tell you, I was never a huge fan of the Three Stooges. Loved the Little Rascals. John is just bitter. Not that we ever have anyone in the community that's ever bitter at any given time. Snell was the one that broke Bryce Harper's hand last year. Zulapski Smurf partaking in some legal Ontario herbal essence. Strat Max will replace Fortnite. There you go. Olson's 0 for 1. Long gone. Deep to right field. And again, that's into Boog Powell's barbecue pit. An absolute line drive out there. That's Olson's second home run of the series. And it's 1-0 Atlanta here in the 4th. Absolutely drilled that down the right field line. So the first run of the ball game gives Atlanta a 1-0 lead. So that brings up Ozuna, who is 0 for 1. Fly ball, left field. Hayes has it for the out. 2 away for Albies is 0 for 1. Someone told Andrew yesterday that they were unaware that Frasier was a spinoff of Cheers. But Cheers has been off the air for 30 years. Maybe Fortnite is no longer the main thing, and people who play it that are old and out of touch. Not touching that one. Saw a post that lineups are fixed on historical teams in Max. That's a definite deal breaker or true. I would wonder if they would have the as played. I don't know. Remember, it's still a beta, and none of us have actually played it. So can't tell you. Here's Albies. Albies is 0 for 1. I would think, though, to not to keep defending Strat, if you are new to this sort of thing and you find that you want to do historical gaming, that'd be a good basic way to get into it without knowing how to construct a lineup. Pitch to Albies. There's a line drive to Mountcastle, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. Solo homer by Matt Olson is the lone hit for the inning. Braves get a run on that, and they lead after 3.5. 1-0. Did ID Jester seem eager to get it? A 5-minute visual run-on sentence that took 90 minutes? Maybe this is a Canadian thing. But Cheers doesn't have the same streaming dominance as Friends, Seinfeld, The Office. I can understand that. I don't think Seinfeld aged all that well. As you hear the sirens behind me, here's how the series has gone. Atlanta won Game 1 6-5 in 16 innings. In Game 2, they beat Baltimore 5-3. Boston Riley with 3 hits. Then the series moved to Baltimore, and they won Game 3 9-6. So Atlanta, within their next win, gives them the championship. Gunnar Henderson struck out his first time up. Vines has fanned 2 through 3. Ground ball to Arcia in the hole. Slow bounder. Henderson can run, but he is thrown out. Here's Santander, 0 for 1. I'll be very curious as we talk a little bit more about Strat Max when people are actually allowed to play the beta, what they think. Yeah, Jamie says, just conjecture, but I think the younger group that might play Strat Max likely will not be that interested in historical seasons. Me neither. I agree. I mean, maybe they might, but I was well into your 20s before you cared about historical replays. You just want the recent season. Yeah, we'll see when it comes out. What's the timeline? They didn't give a timeline on the beta release. A lot of us have signed up for it. Don't know how they're going to choose. Don't know how long they're going to keep it a beta or what feedback they're looking for, but I give them credit for not A, rushing it out the door, and B, immediately charging you for it. Santander's 0 for 1. Ground ball to Albies. Over to first for the out. 2 away for Royschman, who's 0 for 1. Vines pitching a gem so far with 2 out in the 4th. There's a ground ball to Albies. Ozzie throws to first. And Vines is through 4. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 5th here in Game 4. Atlanta 1, Baltimore 0. So Riley, Arcia, and Rosario here to face Kramer in the 5th. Clearly, this is the best pitch game of the series. Riley is 0 for 1. Fly ball left field. Hayes can't get there. So the count is 2-2, and some star of the TV show Thespian makes the catch out there in left field. The 2-2 to Riley. There's a ground ball right side, base hit. So that should have been a Frazier play. And so that's a 3rd hit for Atlanta. Nobody out for Arcia, who's 0 for 1. The opposite of Canadian shows that stream well down here would be Schitt's Creek, with that great cast of Eugene Levy and his son Dan and Catherine O'Hara. Does quite well down here. I think Zalapsky Smurf says, I think my point of Patriots fans in their 20s being nostalgic for Brady's teams. No, but what I think will be the case is that if you had a good fantasy team, you can assemble it. You know, that's the market they're going after, are people who played fantasy. You know all the stats. I don't think it's as much about what my real team did as opposed to David Ortiz clubbing 2 home runs if I'm a Yankee fan. Yeah, they beat my Yankees, but I won my league, you know, sort of thing. Arcia, runner goes. And that is line foul, third base side. Somebody from Ellicott City made the catch, and the count is a strike. There goes Riley. Hit and run was on. Henderson throws to first, and Arcia is retired. So Riley moves to second, and the computer did a hit and run. Everybody passed out all at once. One out for Rosario, who struck out his first time up. Kramer's pitch, fly ball right field. Santander can't get there, and somebody from Bowie made that grab. A ball and 2 strikes now to Rosario, who strikes out. Kramer got him to chase a 1-2 change. So here's Harris the second. He's 0 for 1. Kramer pitching quite well, but on the wrong end of a 1-0 score. Harris in the right center. Back goes Hicks. But Aaron will track that down, and we're halfway home on a 49-degree day in Burlington, Vermont. We'll have a couple words about the A's and an old friend that's no longer with us after this. Well, only 1 run in this game. It's been an offensive fest the first 3 games, but 1-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Matt Olson a solo homer to make it 1-0. Good pitcher's duel. Vines a 1-hitter through 4, walked 1 and struck out 2, and Dean Kramer 3-hitter through 5, just a solo homer to Olson, and a struck out 3. Schitt's Creek was filmed about an hour away from London, Ontario. John says an old friend that's been in the same draft keeper league for 20 years. It's a play-by-email league with some head-to-head online. They don't use the card image. I think Max will suit them well. And Andrew is checking on Homer Simpson at the nuclear power plant in Springfield, Vermont. Mountcastle is 0 for 1. Pitch to Ryan. There's a fly ball left center field. Harris goes back with plenty of room and makes the catch 1 out. I saw today that the A's move to Vegas has been officially approved. And I really hope that maybe finally after 120 some odd years, they have an ownership group in place and a city that embraces the team. Because after Connie Mack passed away, they were kind of vagabonds in Philadelphia. And because they couldn't get now where the Royals play in Kansas City built in time, Charlie Finley wanted them out of Kansas City. And remember, for a long time in Oakland, it was a unanimous vote. A long time in Oakland, they were always looking to move. And the fact that it took them 55 years now to finally settle on something. I've told you this story before. In the 1978 Red Sox yearbook, the games listed against the A's were Oakland/Denver. So they were threatened to move to Louisville and Denver and probably Tampa and some other places. So maybe, just maybe, they'll be in a place that everyone kind of embraces it and there's no threats to move after 2 weeks. The motel that Schitt's Creek was filmed at is closed now, but before the show it housed basketball projects. Jamal Murray of the world champion Denver Nuggets lived there. Jamie's been in a strat draft league that started in 1950 season, and we're now in the 71 season. I don't ever play with a card image. Also, you never use the card image or show dice rolls. Yeah, I think if you don't think of it as strat, if you just think of it as a new game, I think you'll be fine. Austin Hayes, by the way, is 0 for 1. I mean, look, we're streaming a game that has no dice rolls, that is a closed engine, It does have some graphics, but all I'm doing is hit and hit, or pitch. It works. Pitch to Hayes. Ground ball to Arcia. In front of the bag, throws to Olson for the out. So here's Adam Frazier. Adam is 0 for 1. There's a liner into shallow left. Ozuna can't quite get there. He was close, but Frazier dumps that in for a single. Only the second hit for the Orioles. Here's Mateo. Jorge is 0 for 1. Yep, Action PC Christmas sale starts Saturday. So if you're looking to upgrade your games and stuff, great prices. Mateo pops this one right side. Albies and Acuna Jr. This might be trouble. Albies on the grass, and Ozzie makes the catch, and that'll do it after 5. They get a hit, that's it. Orioles have left on 3. We go to the 6th here in Game 4. Atlanta 1, Baltimore nothing. So top of the lineup, 18 batters deep for Kramer. 59 pitches, 5 innings, 3 hits. The lone run, the solo shot by Olson in the 4th. And he has struck out 3. Acuna has singled. He's 1 for 2. John, the only thing we haven't seen is actual gameplay videos. It kind of looks like MLB.com Game Tracker. Jamie says, I didn't grow up playing Strats, Card, and Dice. So I don't have that connection in my past playing it. I also have more history playing the PC version of his games and had all closed engines. Yeah, you and I are micro league refugees. Pitch to Acuna Jr. Ground ball, third base side foul. And the count is 0-2. And Acuna draws the walk. Atlanta pretty much on the verge where a couple runs probably seals the deal for them. Here's Murphy. Sean is 0 for 1. Hit by a pitch and struck out. Throw to first. Acuna is back. He goes, and there is no throw down to second. Acuna has his 3rd steal of this World Series. And it's a 1-strike count to Murph. Nobody out here in the 6th. Murphy into left center field. Back goes Hicks. Way back there, and that ball is off the wall. Acuna will score. Murphy's in the 2nd standing, and the Braves lead it 2-0. So here's Olson. Has homered in both the games here in Baltimore. He's 1 for 2 today. I'll say this about just gaming in general. I don't really want to get into the open ends and closed ends and stuff. It's all about your imagination and how you perceive things. I mean, one of the things that we get into doing these games is, sharing a quote-unquote broadcast with you as you eat your lunch or chat with whoever and all that. But it's all about the game between your ears. And if it works for you, regardless of the engine, then that's all that matters. And it's going to get you to play more. Pitch to, Reichman and Kramer will have a word. Kramer's pitch. Olson swings. Ground ball to Mountcastle. Takes it to the bag for the out. Murph goes to 3rd. John says, I think actual gameplay graphics would go a long way to enhance it. Otherwise, for a text-based game, it's just an exorbitantly priced digital diamond. Not going to disagree with that. Runner on 3rd. Here's Ozuna, 0 for 2. And there's a chopper to 3rd. Henderson will throw home. Murphy is out. They got the tag down. Reuschman swiped it. Murphy has no speed, so they'll trade that. They'll trade the out for Ozuna on first, and Albies at the plate. He's 0 for 2. So I can't tell you about the graphics. Again, I think it's kind of like MLB Game Day. Big play for the O's. Yep, they need to get on the board and on the board fast. Iglesias probably can come in with 2 out in the 8th. The Braves' pen has pitched well. All B's. Ground ball to Frazier. Over to Mountcastle. Braves get a run, but that's it. They couldn't get the second. A run on a hit, they leave a runner on. We go to the bottom of the 6th here in Game 4. 2-0 Atlanta. So top of the lineup for Baltimore, and they need to get something off of Vines now. It'll be Hicks, Urias, and Henderson. Vines opening 18, 75 pitches, 5 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Hicks has the walk and a strikeout. He's 0 for 1. And this is now a 1-run game. Jamie says need it now, and Aaron Hicks says I agree with you. That ball is gone. A home run to deep right field. And that'll do it for Vines. So Kirby Yates will come in to pitch. Let's show you the Hicks home run again. And so that Braves run is big. And so now you get into the Braves pen. Kirby Yates, 35 years old, an extreme fly ball pitcher. It's rained, by the way, the entire ball game. 60 degrees, winds blowing in now from right at 5. He is a fastball pitcher at 91. He pitched in Game 1, an inning and 2/3, 32 pitches, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Slapsky Smurf asks, I wonder if Strat thinks their main competitor opportunity is OOTP players, and I would say yes. That's who they're going after. And that's a fight I think they can do quite well in. Urias is 1 for 2. Ball 4. So the tying run is on. Nobody out here in the 6th. And here's Gunnar Henderson. He's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Urias can steal. I'll wait to see what Yates does. Yates goes to the plate, and Henderson draws a walk. So it's first and second, nobody out in a 1-run game for Anthony Santander, who is 0 for 2. Struck him out. An 0-2 fastball swung on and missed. That's a big out. So here's Royschman, who is 0 for 2. The Orioles have a chance now to do some damage. Yates from the stretch, popped up right side. Olsen wanders into foul territory and makes the catch. An absolute web jam. How about that? He ran by the dugout, reached in. The seas parted as he stumbles down the stairs and makes an incredible catch. 2 out for Mountcastle, who is 0 for 2. So Urias on second, Henderson on first. The Braves trying to keep this a 1-run game. Murph and Yates have a word. Kirby from the wind. Struck him out. And that'll do it. The Orioles get a run on the homer from Hicks. The lone hit, they've left on 5 after 6 in Game 4. Atlanta 2, Baltimore 1. So Kramer is going to do something that he probably didn't do too much on the real year, and that's throw into the 7th inning. Riley 1 for 2. Austin has a single. Jamie says I was on a Facebook group earlier in the year that is just a baseball history page. Someone mentioned something about either Strat or Appa that he can't remember, but created a chain of replies and the hundreds of people saying how they used to play those games and most didn't know they were still around. Yeah. So if this could reach into this group of people, they might find a lot of new customers. I agree. I think it's a genius move. It better work. Pitch to Riley. Struck him out. That's 4 for Kramer. A 1-2 curve swung on and missed. My mother remembers me playing it in college. And of course, now this is what I do. But yeah. People, played these games as teens, grew up, had families, got away from it. And I think would love to have the chance to reconnect with either a favorite season or a favorite game. It is now raining here, 58 degrees. Arcia is 0 for 2. Kramer down to his last base runner. And that will be Arcia. That's in the center field, and Orlando has a double. And for Kramer, that's his ball game. However, a very good outing for Kramer. It's on the wrong side of a 2-1 score, but he's the first Baltimore pitcher to pitch into the 7th. And so it is lefty, lefty, righty. Danny Coulombe comes in. Danny pitched in game 1. 2 innings, 26 pitches, 2 hits, and 4 strikeouts. 33 years old, fastball at 90, standard pitcher. Arcia on second, Rosario at the plate. Yep, describes you exactly, Andrew. Cardenas as a teenager will be 60 next year, about a 30-year break. I took about a 10-year break. I rediscovered these games right around the turn of the century. Rosario has struck out twice. Coulombe deals. Got him. That's 3 for Rosario. An 0-2 fastball swung on and missed. So 2 out for Harris, who was 0 for 2. Slow chopper over the mound. Frazier on the wet grass over to first, and that will retire the side. Joe Jimenez coming in to pitch. Stretch time, 2-1 Braves. So Jimenez pitched in game number 1. He went an inning and inning and a third. That's what that .1 means, Ron. 21 pitches and 3 strikeouts. 27 years old, fastball at 94. And a standard pitcher. Jamie says not sure he'll be a Max customer, but someone that used to play these games as a teen to get back into it through the web-based program that requires little to no configuration to get back into it could be an added appeal. And just because what they're introducing now doesn't mean that that's what's going to look like in a year. Don't forget that. Slapsky Smurf says, I could never afford shipping the Strat to Canada as a kid. Still can't. Got into the hobby about 5 years ago. Yep. I think whatever gets people into it, they're going to find what they want. It's a gateway. It's a gateway. Austin Hayes, by the way, 0 for 2. And he hits a high fly ball, left center field. Back goes Ozuna to the track, off the wall. Throw goes into third, and Hayes is the tying run on second for Adam Frazier, who's 1 for 2. If there is a game 5, Monday at noon. Infield is in. Frazier draws the walk. Frazier went 1 for 2 with a single. And 3-1 fastball missed low. So first and second, nobody out for Mateo, who is 0 for 2. They're going to let him hit. There's a ground ball, left side, base hit. So Hayes will round third, and he will hold So a huge hit from Mateo. Nobody out. Bases loaded. For Aaron Hicks, who is 1 for 2. It was his home run in the 6th that made it a 2-1 game. Over from the Yankees. He can, with a base hit, can give the Orioles the lead here in the 7th. Jimenez deals. Base hit right field. Hayes will score. To tie the game, Frazier will bluff. So there's still nobody out. It is now a 2-2 game. So here's Urias. He's 1 for 2. He singled and walked. The Orioles, a 1 in the 6th, a home run by Hicks, and then an RBI single to make it a 2-2 game. So the bases are loaded. Nobody out here in the 7th. Jimenez deals. There's a base hit in the left field. Frazier's going to score. Ozuna does not have a great arm. Mateo rounds third. He's going to challenge Ozuna's arm. Hicks will hold at second. The throw to Murphy is out. He's out. It was close. I thought he beat it, but he did not. So there's finally an out. It goes 7-2 at the plate. But it's 3-2 Baltimore for Gunnar Henderson, who's 0 for 2, a walk and a strikeout. Well, Zalapsky, we had Micro League, so we kind of had this. Not necessarily all the seasons that came with it, but you had a couple hours you could do. I had the season discs for 84 and 85, and the stat-keeping disc where you could make your own teams, and a copy of the Sports Encyclopedia Baseball. And I wonder why in high school I never had a girlfriend. 1 out, first and second. Orioles have pulled out 3-2. Murph and Jimenez have a word. Joe from the stretch struck him out. And 0-2 curve got him in there at the knees. 2 out. For Santander, Baltimore would love another run here. Anthony is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Jimenez deals. And there's a high fly ball to right, and that's long gone. All Acuna Jr. could do was turn and watch it go. And for the first time in this series, the Braves have taken up the wrong step. And if you think that's bad, wait till you see Brad Hand's numbers. So the Orioles put a 5 spot here in the 7th and go up 6-2. An absolute no-doubter by Anthony Santander. And Oriole fans are starting to chant, "We'll see you tomorrow night." So let's tell you about Hand. Over from Colorado, 32 years old, fastball at 90. A shadow of what he once was. 2-2, a save, and an earned run average of 7.5. That's bad enough. 18 innings, 19 hits, 2 homers. He walked 6 and 18 RBIs. Jamie says, as funny as a kid, all I knew about Strat was it was a strange-looking game advertised in Street and Smith. Same here. I thought ordering it would be like ordering one of those crazy things in comic books. But Strat, I would think, is the most impactful of these games historically. I saw it played in high school and kind of wondered. And we got talking about it in college. I told the story the other day about picking it up at KB stores for KB Toys for $25. Zalapsky Smurf says, as a Jays fan, these are the O's that I'm familiar with. They are plucky. Absolutely plucky. Reuschmann is 0 for 3. Hand delivers. Popped up. Murph to the screen. Foul ball. Count 2-2. So if there is a game 5, noon on Monday. Struck him out. We go to the 8th. It's Baltimore 5 runs, 5 hits. The 3-run homer by Santander has made all the difference in the world, and after 7, Baltimore 6, Atlanta 2. Acuna Jr. 1 for 2. Colon will stay in for a little bit. He has scored, stolen a base, and a walk. So before we go much further, if you did not hear the news earlier today, legendary NASCAR broadcaster, and that's who it's going to mean to you, Ken Squire, passed away at the age of 88. It was Squire, through his tireless work, that made NASCAR a staple on television and got it away from just being a curiosity on Wide World of Sports. Pitch to Acuna, who's 1 for 2. Struck him out. Colomb got him on a 2-2 fastball. In 1979, Squire and Brian France, the president of NASCAR, encouraged and cajoled CBS to show the 79 Daytona 500 in its entirety, which had never really been done for a 500-mile race. The Indy 500 was chopped up for Sunday night television, and I think Wide World of Sports did a 200-mile race because it fit it in the 90-minute window that they had. But to have a 3-hour car race with that technology on television was unheard of. So CBS said, okay, fine, you can do it. Murph, by the way, 1 for 2, and double, an RBI, and a strikeout. Well, as it turned out, on that winter's day in 1979, a tremendous snowstorm nailed the East Coast. And so people who normally would have been out were stuck at home in their pre-cable universe and watched the Daytona 500 and Donnie Allison and Cale Yarborough's bumping along the backstretch of lap 200 and subsequent fight that they had as Richard Petty crossed the finish line. And that was how NASCAR became a good television sport. So that's the Ken Squire that you all know. He was responsible for a lot of that and the legend of Dale Earnhardt and such. Squire is a Vermont institution. It's his radio station that is in the town that I grew up in that has been around since 1930. And so, although he never had the number one station or played the best music or whatever, it was his vision of what radio should be is the big loss around here. And so for Ken Squire, a huge figure in Vermont, both for his sports and for his sense of community. Murph is 1 for 2. Struck him out. Coloma's fan 2 here. He'll get Olson, the lefty, with 2 out. An old friend of John's was actually a friend of your brother's. When they went on vacation, he wasn't allowed to bring his Strat. Oh, my goodness. So we lent it to my brother to try out. We took it on vacation with you, the Poconos, in an RV. We spent all vacation playing 78 Strat, both hooked. You were 8, your brother was 13. Jamie asks if you returned Strat back to him. No, never. I don't think he did. Olson has a homer, 1 for 3. Pitch from Colomb, ball 4. So that'll do it for Danny. But they got 4 outs out of him. And they're going to go with Fujinami, who took the loss in game 1. Over from Oakland, 29 years old, fastball at 93 and a standard pitcher. One inning in a third, the 16th. 23 pitches, 3 hits, the earned run and 2 strikeouts. Yep, Squire was something special. And so much more than NASCAR. And I wrote on Facebook this morning, I knew he was in hospice care all of 24 hours. They got him home yesterday, and he died last night. He meant more to NASCAR and what you think of NASCAR and what you see of NASCAR than Vince Scully ever meant to baseball. and I do not say that lightly, Ken Squire made that appointment television. Ozuna is 0 for 3. Olsen on first, 6-2 Baltimore, 2 out here, top of the 8th. Fujinami deals, struck him out. He got his man, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. Braves leave on a runner. Bottom of the 8th here in Baltimore, 6-2 birdies. So Mountcastle, Hayes, and Frazier to face Hand, at least to start. Mountcastle 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Hand deals. There's a fly ball. Harris moving back. He'll make the catch, 1 out. If you do listen to NASCAR on the radio, you are certainly familiar with Dave Moody. Well, Moody got his start at WDEV, owned by Ken Squire. And if you're familiar with Mike Joy, and who is not a sports fan that isn't at least somewhat familiar with Mike Joy, he was Ken Squire's understudy at the Motor Racing Network. It is a huge legacy that Ken leaves. Austin Hayes, by the way, 1 for 3, a double and a run scored. Pitch from Hand. There's a fly ball, right center field. Harris moving over will make the catch, 2 out. So here's Adam Frazier, 1 for 2. Both of his hits in this World Series have been big. He has walked and scored a run. Albies, Riley, and Arcia to face Cano, by the way, in the 9th, even with the 4-run lead. Frazier, base hit into left field. Ozuna will pick it. Nope, he did not. It's a catch. How about that? Ha ha ha. Well, that's enough of me channeling my inner John Sterling. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 9th here in Game 4. Baltimore trying to force a Game 5, up 6-2. We'll give Fujinami an out. If I don't need to use Cano today, I'd rather not, because he would be tired for Game 5. Ozzie Albies is 0 for 3. So Shintaro Fujinami will get a base runner. Albies is 0 for 3. Braves need 4 to tie and 5 to go ahead. Riley on deck. Albies pops it up. Right side. Mountcastle, almost into foul territory, makes the catch. It has rained all the way through this game. Here's Austin Riley, 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out. And if they can get Fujinami to get the 4 outs, that would be huge. Into left field, Hayes in the corner, and he will make the catch. How about that? 2 out. So last chance saloon for the Braves. The Orioles are about to do what they needed to do, just 1 game at a time. And Game 5, Monday at noon, 9 Pacific. And so Baltimore will get their 3 games at home unless something crazy happens in the next couple of minutes. Arcia 1 for 3. Orlando has a double. Fujinami will have to wait as Kevin Pillar will pinch hit. And that doesn't look any better for Atlanta. Kevin 0 for 5 in this World Series with a strikeout. Fujinami walks and deals. Fly ball left field. Hayes going back, way back there. 6-3. A pinch hit homer from Pillar. It's only a solo shot. So Pillar makes it a 3-run game. And they'll give the next batter to Fujinami with nobody on. Iglesias starting to stir for Baltimore. So 6-3 here. 2 out, top of the 9th. Rosario has taken the collar. He is 0 for 3 and struck out 3 times. Fujinami's pitch popped up. Frazier behind the bag, dodges the raindrops, and the Orioles are not getting swept. They lived to talk another day as they beat the Braves by the score of 6-3. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Orioles leave on 5. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and they left on 5. What an outing for Baltimore. Clearly their best pitching effort. Kramer 6 1/3, 5 hits. Coulombe gets the win. Fujinami doesn't get the save. He gave up the home run, but he pitched well. Jimenez, well, in our Red Sox terms, he pooped the bed. Vines, a great effort wasted, and Brad Hand didn't do too bad on the other end. It will be Anthony Santander, who was your Digital Device MVP. It was his 3-run homer in the 7th that salted this one away for Baltimore. And so the games will go on. We'll see you Monday for game number 5 here from Baltimore. The Orioles win this one by the score of 6-3. As always, thank you so much for watching and so much for indulging me in whatever it is. And yep, Jimenez. Oh, yeah, I got to remind my mother to bring that bottle of Moxie. We could see it on Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody. So long.